In this lesson, we will understand slopes. You can use slope to describe the steepness of an incline or hill. The slope is used to describe the steepness of an incline or hill. The steepness of a ramp is the ratio means a fraction. So ratio of the vertical change to the horizontal change. So the steepness of the ramp, how steep the ramp is the ratio of the vertical change to the horizontal change. In math, slope is a number that describes the steepness of a line. So what is slope in mathematical terms? It is a number that describes the steepness of a line. You can also use slope to describe the rate of change of a quantity. By how much, what is the rate at which a quantity is changing, can also be described by slopes. So how do you find slope? Slope is equal to vertical change divided by the horizontal change. Now look, vertical change is called a rise. Look at the picture. Vertical change is called a rise, and the horizontal change is called the run. So in other words, slope is nothing but rise over run. Slope describes the steepness of lines in the coordinate plane. We know what's a coordinate plane, the x and the y axis, the coordinate plane. You can find the slope of a line by subtracting the coordinates of any 2 points on the line. So how can we find the slope in a coordinate plane? You take any 2 points on the line and you subtract them, you get the slope. How we do that, we will see. Slope of a line is change in the y coordinates divided by change in the x coordinates. You know that every coordinate has an x value and a y value. So change in the y coordinate, meaning subtracting the y coordinates, divided by change in the x coordinates, meaning subtracting the x coordinates. What is the change in the y coordinate called? It is called rise. And what is the change in the x coordinates called? It is called run. We can find out whether the slope is positive or negative just by looking at the lines. The direction of the slant of a line indicates a positive or a negative slope. Observe this picture, this graph. If a line rises from left to right, this will be positive slope. Look at this. If a line goes down from left to right, it is a negative slope. So just by looking at the lines, you can figure out whether the slope is positive or negative. A quick review. Suppose if this is the coordinate plane, what will be the slope of this line? Positive or negative? It's going to be positive. And what will be the slope of this line? It's going to be negative because it's coming down from left to right. When you find the slope of a line, the first y coordinate you use for the rise must belong to the same point as the first x coordinate you use for the run. What does it mean? When we do the problem, it will become very clear. Find the slope of the line in the graph below. So you have a graph, the line is shown to you. There are 2 points marked, A and B. The coordinates of A are 2, 1. And which is x and which is y in this? The 2 is x and 1 is y coordinate. Which is the x coordinate in the point B? The 5 is the x coordinate and negative 3 is the y coordinate. Now let's find the slope. The slope is change in the y coordinates. So let us start from the point B. What is the y coordinate of B? Negative 3. So negative 3 minus, because change means it's the difference. So negative 3 minus, what is the y coordinate of point A? It is 1. So 1 divided by change in the x coordinates. Now because we started from point B, we have to use point B itself for the x coordinate first. So what is the x coordinate in the point B? 5 minus, what is the x coordinate of point A? 2. That is what this statement means. The first y coordinate you use for the rise must belong to the same point as the first x coordinate you use for the run. So negative 3 minus 1 is negative 4 divided by 5 minus 2 is 3. So the slope of this line is negative 4 divided by 3. The slope is negative. If you observe, the line is coming down from left to right. If you observe, the line is coming down from left to right. So the slope is negative. Let's do this. Find the slope of each line. State whether the slope is 0 or undefined. What are the two coordinates, 2 points on this line? Negative 2, 2 and 3, 2. So let's find the slope of this line. The slope is change in the y coordinates. Let us start from this point. So what is the y coordinate of this? 2 minus, what is the y coordinate of this? 2 again, divided by change in the x coordinate. Because we started from this point, we have to take the first x coordinate from the same point. And x coordinate in this point is 3 minus, what is the x coordinate in this point? Negative 2. So we can simplify 2 minus 2 is 0 divided by 3 minus negative 2 is 5. 0 divided by any number is 0. So what is the slope of this line? 0. Do you observe what type of a line is this? It is a horizontal line. So can I say for any horizontal line, the slope is always 0. Find the slope of each line. State whether the slope is 0 or undefined. Let's look at this line. What are the 2 points? The negative 5, 1 and negative 5, negative 2. So let's find the slope. Slope is change in the y coordinates. So let us start from this point first. So what is the y coordinate of this point? Negative 2. So negative 2 minus, what is the y coordinate of this point? 1 divided by change in the x coordinate. Because we started from this point first, we have to take the x coordinate from the same point. So negative 5 minus, what is the x coordinate of this point? Negative 5 again. So if you simplify, negative 2 minus 1 is negative 3 divided by negative 5 minus negative 5 is 0. Any number divided by 0 is undefined. It is undefined. So the slope of this line is undefined. What type of a line is this? It's a vertical line. So what is the slope of a vertical line? It is undefined. What is the slope of a horizontal line? It is always 0. So just by looking at the line, whether it's horizontal or vertical, we can conclude what will be the slope of the lines. If it's a horizontal line, it's going to be 0. If it's a vertical line, it's going to be undefined. When you graph some data, all the points lie on a line. For such data, you can find slope or rate of change using a table. Let's try a problem. Graph the fuel usage data at the left, given in the table. Connect the points with a line. Then find the rate of change. So understand the table. This is miles traveled, and this column is fuels used. So how many gallons of fuel are used when you travel 80 miles? 4 gallons. If you travel 120 miles, 6 gallons. 160 miles, 8 gallons. 200 miles, 10 gallons. Now, if we plot this point on a graph, the graph will look like this. All the miles traveled on the x-axis and the fuel used on the y-axis. So for 80 miles, the fuel used is 4 gallons. For 120 miles, 6 gallons. We learn how to plot the points. 160 miles, 8 gallons. 120 miles, 6 gallons. 200 miles, 10 gallons. Now, let's find the slope. How do we find the slope? We can pick up any 2 points and find the change in the y divided by change in the x. So let us pick up this point and the first point. You can pick up any 2 points. So if I just have to put brackets like this, we are dealing with these 2 points. Change in the y. So let us start from this point. You can start from any point, doesn't matter. What is the y coordinate of this? 10. So 10 minus, what is the y coordinate of the first point? 4. Divided by change in the x. Because we picked up this point first, we must take the x coordinate from the same point first. So the x coordinate of that is 200 minus, what is the x coordinate of the first point? 80. Simplify. 10 minus 4, 6. Divided by 200 minus 80, 120. So simplify. 6 divided by 120 is 1 over 20. So what does it mean? What does the y stand for? It is representing the fuel used. And what does the x stand for? It stands for the number of miles. So the slope what you got was 1 over 20. So what does it mean? It means the amount of fuel used is 1 gallon for every 20 miles traveled. So you can find the rate of usage of fuel by finding the slope of the line.